Around June of 2014, internet users discovered an oddly large number of similar stock photos, all featuring women eating salad in a peculiar fashion. Countless photographs fit this archetype and taken by a wide variety of photographers, yet all female models in the photos were displayed the same, pictured laughing and consuming their salad alone. Scores of these photographs were curated and displayed throughout numerous social media sites, and the pseudo-phenomenon even became the subject of a play written by Sheila Callahan, entitled Women Laughing Alone with Salad. The internet's collective short-term memory rendered the meme a mere novelty several months later, and it was all but forgotten. However, there is a lot to learn from these photographs, and while the faces in the photos all feature nothing but smiles, the faces behind the camera are far more sinister in nature. Join us on our debut episode as we investigate the reason behind the similarities, the origin of the concept, and the cultural emphasis on women dieting. This is Fact Fringe. In order to understand the stock photos of women laughing while eating salad alone, we need to first understand salad. While salad itself has presumably been around for as long as humans have consumed leafy greens, its popularity is easily tracked. It was first documented as being a readily consumed dish by the ancient Romans in around 600 BC. These salads were primitive in comparison to the intricate preparations we have today, but their creation was the baseline for what we now possess. What distinguished their dish from other rudimentary concoctions of assorted greens was their prevalence for utilizing dressings, typically oil or vinegar mixed with salt. Even the word salad comes from the vulgar Latin phrase herba salata, meaning salted herb. Still, these mixtures were primarily flora and herb-based, and were simple mixtures of plant-based material, with the exclusion of their oil-based dressings. The first salads comparable to our modern-day selections became well documented in the Renaissance period, with what we now know as dinner salads. Consumed around the turn of the 18th century, these dinner salads, or salmagundis, were comprised primarily of assorted greens with the inclusion of chopped meat, anchovies, eggs, and onions with oil and various other condiments. There was little evolution in salad preparation from then on, until a global boom from the 19th century onwards. During this period, salads went through revolutionary alterations, including the invention of the chicken salad in 1845, the Caesar salad in 1924, and the Cobb salad in 1926. During this time, it is important to note that there was already a distinctive gender preference on salad consumption, but was still unlike the divisive connotation with salad today. Laura Shapiro, author of Perfect Salad, even writes, "Despite the often hefty ingredients that were assembled in its name, the salad course never lost its original image as a fragile, leafy interlude that was something of a nutritional frill. Salads were perceived as ladies' food, reflecting the image of frailty attached to the women who made them. Today's salads haven't progressed much further than those concoctions in the early 1900s, but our attitude towards them have become even more pernicious, as research now shows that not only are salads still considered feminine, many healthy items are considered the same. University of Manitoba's Luke Zhu conducted a study that found that both men and women preferred unhealthy foods with masculine packaging and healthy foods with feminine packaging. This leads most researchers to believe that there is a general perception of femininity going hand in hand with what is deemed healthy, and that women have a perceived obligation to be more cautious with what they eat, whereas men may not be held to the same standard. This dangerous slope of placing such a burden on women is egregiously prominent in advertising and media. For obvious comparisons, look no further than chocolate advertisements. These are two advertisements, one for a Snickers chocolate bar and one for Dove chocolates.
I pity you, fool! You a disgrace to the man race! It's time to run like a real man! Take that, speed walker! Do it again, sucker! And there's gonna be trouble with the capital Mr. T! Get a new Snickers with the lot, sucker!
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien.
It is quite obvious which is targeted towards men, and which is meant to target women. And there are two very different attitudes on display here. For the male-oriented Snickers ad, there is an excess of chocolate being pelted at a man who is being ridiculed for being, quote, a disgrace to the man race for speedwalking, whereas the female-oriented Dub advertisement characterizes their chocolate as a decadent treat, and to consume it is to indulge in something typically reserved as more of a caloric splurge. Even the song played during the Dove commercial is called No, I Regret Nothing, which could lead one to believe that consuming chocolate in moderation is worthy of regret. That is a far cry from the triumphant music playing in the background of the Snickers commercial, with Mr. T aggressively encouraging viewers to, and again I quote, get some nuts. One is a direct challenge to men, addressing their moderate activities or chocolate consumption as anti-male, and the other seemingly labeling any amount of chocolate being eaten as living with no regrets. When brought back to the topic of salad, it is not as glaring, but still obvious to any discerning viewer. And while these two following ads are promoting different products, it is interesting to view the differences in their target audiences, alongside two particularly interesting phrases.
Every barbecue season, men everywhere are made to feel like lesser men for eating salad. It's called salad shaming. And it's driving a wedge between us. But if you want a salad, eat a salad. Maybe it's your third barbecue this weekend. Maybe you're just going through a thing. Or maybe you just want some damn endive. Salad men, Dixie is here for you this summer, with plates and bowls built to hold up all kinds of salads. Frisee, niçoise, whatever this is. So let us come together and eat salads with our dude friends, with no regrets, just vinaigrettes. Stand up to salad shaming this summer and join your meat-eating friends at the table.
Ladies, let's make a salad, shall we? This is the most beautiful pepper I've ever held. How zesty do you want it? A little? A little more? How about a lot more? Woo! Oh. Let's get zesty.
One notable phrase is salad shaming, poking fun at the notion of men being ridiculed for eating salad, which in itself brings up the previous point that salad is still regarded as objectively feminine. And, while a slightly sensitive point, it is worth noting that all characters in the Dixie's advertisement do not have bodies wholly representative of caloric restriction. Eating salad is a choice for them, and not as much of a perceived requirement as it is believed to be for women. In comparison, the Kraft dressing advertisement is notable for a few reasons. Firstly, it attempts to use sex appeal to sell the idea of a salad dressing, something rather atypical for the industry. Second, the tagline, "Let's get zesty." The word zesty in this definition can mean fun, active, and sexy, which is a common denotation with the word. This is emphasized with a conventionally attractive man becoming gradually less clad as the ad goes on, with the inclusion of more and more Italian dressing. In this universe the ad has briefly created, the women are still eating salad, but the revolutionary change making it zesty is merely a different salad dressing. This is not a wild departure, it is not even a different course. Most would assume getting zesty with the previously mentioned denotation could imply at the very least a different course, not the same one women can feel obligated to eat on a regular basis. A better use of the word zesty may be to describe the men who ate salad in the previous ad. While combative about their choice, it is still perceived to be a less popular option with their demographic that they chose anyways. The Kraft commercial only seems to shackle women to their primary course, with their consolation prize only being a slight alteration in dressing. The other notable point to make with all previous advertisements is the prevalence of one or more men being in the commercial, regardless of the product. Even the Dove commercial, being a marketing tool aimed heavily at women, had one woman prominently displayed, with the remaining characters being men. Research provided by the Gina Davis Institute on Gender and Media in 2017 confirmed the bias in advertising, with their report stating that 25% of all ads feature men exclusively, 5 times the number of ads found to feature exclusively women. It is very difficult to find ads that exclusively feature women, and when they do, Conversations between women typically revolve around banal stereotypical subjects like men or food. The Gina Davis Institute's research confirmed this, with the aggregation of ads showing that lines of dialogue spoken by men were about 29% more likely than lines spoken by women to contain words associated with power, and 28% more likely to contain words associated with achievement. And when the Flesh Kincaid readability test was run across the aggregation of ads, it found that the vernacular female characters used with their spoken dialogue was rated at being simpler than men's overall. Not only is the subject material these characters discuss simpler, it seems as if their vocabulary is as well. And even ads with a mixed demographic show discouraging results. The percentage of women in ads in 2006 was at 33.9%, which was found to have slightly increased to 36.9% in 2016. That is an additional 3% representation over a 10-year time span. And that representation is not always explicitly positive, with 1 out of 10 female characters in advertisements adorning sexually revealing clothing, in stark contrast to the 1 per 50 male characters being portrayed the same way. It seems, regardless of the minuscule strides made in the past decade, women in advertising are still shown predominantly as objects, or at the very least on a level not directly comparable to men. So we now understand the cause for the trend of women in stock images eating salad. But why is it that they are always framed as being happy and alone? Surprisingly, the answer for why the women pictured are always happy is finally one that has a likely simple answer. Research administered by Yaling Dang of the State Key Laboratory of Cognitive Neuroscience and Learning in 2016 found that women, when on film or camera, smiled more and longer in comparison to their male counterparts. Men, on the other hand, were more likely to furrow their brow and display less emotion overall. Similar results were found by a study published in 2017 from Daniel McDuff of Microsoft. The women eating alone trope, however, is one that is a bit more difficult to find a conclusion for. It is known that women generally have a larger support structure, and that women require more frequent contact with someone they consider a friend, so it would seem likely that any photos of women eating salad while laughing would at the very least feature multiple women eating salad while laughing. But aside from a few outliers, the vast majority of this trend all present women as solo salad eaters. There are multiple hypotheses as to why this is the case, and most of the educated guesses seem to point the finger at dieting shame. While salad has generally been considered as a meal that is ordered or procured to give off the impression of dieting or caloric restriction, it has been found that many women who order takeout or delivery food alone are still twice as likely to order a salad than a man. This is likely due to the constant emphasis in advertising on salad being a diet food, and not just an ordered food item that is for appearances only. Women seem to have no reprieve from food scrutiny, even from themselves. While there was no explicit beginning to the trend of stock photos featuring women eating salad laughing alone, the factors described in this video will hopefully provide insight into the initial reasoning for such an odd trend. And while we attempted to contact several stock photographers, all declined to comment. Whether it is still a widely sought after photo set cannot be determined by us at this time. However, it is but merely a symptom of a much more pervasive mindset in the advertising world. Thank you for watching.